Welcome to the opening of Gond Qalam, an exhibition of a tribal group of artists from Manda and Patangarh. Manda and Patangarh is a largely tribal area. Narmada flows through it. Patangarh was a place where at one time...
Can't hear you.
Can't hear me? Oh, I'm shouting at the loudspeaker.
Mike, up here.
Yeah, closer. And Patangarh, the great anthropologist from Austria, Mueller, who was a close friend of Nehru, lived there. And as you know, Mueller was a much married man. He used to marry a tribal woman, father some children, and move on. But that's not important. What is important that he lived there. And I'll come back to you in a minute why this his living there is relevant to what happened there. It is also Rudyard Kipling country. In fact, in Ghana, there is a place where Rudyard Kipling, the great British poet, lived, right later. And the third, it is Raza country. Syed Haider Raza was born in one of the forest villages, surrounded by tribals. His memories of his childhood of tribal dance and music and things like that. So these are the three. But what happened is an amazing thing, and that brings in another artist into the picture, that is J. Swaminathan. J. Swaminathan at that time was trying to redefine the notion of the contemporary in Indian art by creating a new museum for us in Bharat called Rupanka. And he decided that the notion of the contemporary, confining it entirely to the urban, is both un-Indian and non-historic. His contention was that all of us, whether we are living and painting in towns or in villages or in jungles, are contemporaries. So he created the only museum in the country which has folk and tribal art and urban art all together. So you have a Saint Raza, Gaitonde, Agvatpadam, Sirivan Sundaram is part of Njit Baba is part of the museum. And you have Pema Patya and Gond Qalam and Gond Qalam and all those also part of the same music. Now, come back to Patan. Swami elected about, I was then secretary, culture, not secretary, culture, special secretary, culture, below position. And he asked me to give me 30 art college students who were oriented to look at folk and tribal art. None of them had looked at folk and tribal art with any degree of sensitivity or imagination. So he trained them and he made 6 groups or 5 groups and sent them all over Madhya Pradesh. Now Madhya Pradesh is a very, very large state. Chhattisgarh was part of it at that time. Akhilesh was one such art student picked up from the art college in Indore. Now Swami himself used to visit a lot. Prayagji also was one of the persons who went around with him. Now he was going to Patan, was in Uikey. And there was a kind of a notion of a road, hardly a proper road. And there was a boy breaking stones on the road. And Swami stopped his jeep and asked him whether he knew where Patan was. So he said, yes, I know it. I belong to Patan. So he said, come on, jeep and we take me to Patan. He said, no, meri dihadi mari jayegi. So he said, nahi, hum aapko usko na denge. Now that boy picked up by Swaminathan was Jangal Singh Shyam. And he came, and the Gond Pradhans are the singing sub-community of the tribal community called Gonds. Now Gonds had also kingdoms. There's a fort, Losi Mandla, where Gonds king was ruling and all that. And Durgavati was a Gond queen, Rani Durgavati and all that. So they were not exactly the usual notion of the Gonds. But the Gond Pradhans were the ancestral genealogical singers on the occasions, community occasions, or a death in the family, or a birth in the family, or a marriage in the, they will come and sing the genealogy, saying this is how the word originated, this god or that god, and this is how it all happened, and whatever. So it was basically a musical pattern. Comes Jangal Singh Shyam, but they used to paint something on their walls in the village. Jangal Singh Shyam is brought by Swaminathan, persuaded by Swaminathan, and comes to Dwarka. He, for the first time in his life, comes to paint on paper, canvas. He's giving colors and brushes, etc. And this is the miracle that happened. It has never happened, my dear friends, in any art institution that I know of. Not only in this country, but perhaps nowhere in the world. That a musical memory, a musical imagination are converted into visual memory and visual imagination. And this is what happened. Jangal Singh Shyam, as you know, is now recognized as a major contemporary painter. He was very fond of singing, so whenever sometimes at dinner come people, he had awe of the authority, like any normal citizen has. And very difficult to make him sit on his chair. with Swaminathan and others, he will always sit on the floor. But anyway, Jangar Singh Shyam started painting, and later, when he became what he became, Jangar Singh Shyam unfortunately committed suicide in a museum in Japan, and he was there. That is the tragic part of the story. But what Jangar Singh Shyam did was for his community. Now, here you see how many? 26 painters. Many of them have surnamed as Shyam. And there are other surnames, but what is special about this exhibition is that unlike many other Gond Qalam painters who are living now in Bhopal, so they have access to some training. All of them are completely untrained. Look at the sophistication and the subtlety and the complexity, etc. They're totally untrained. One. Two, if you look hard, you'll find that they are painting a world where human being is rather trivial. They reduce human beings to their sizes. Unlike us anthropocentric imagination in which man is at the center. In these works, man is not in the center. In fact, perhaps innocently, they have decentered man, and they have brought in trees and nature, and you have birds and animals, and they are more beautiful than human beings, which is what a fact is, and we are not willing to acknowledge it. So we have brought them here. The Raza Foundation has been trying to do something for several years after his death in Mandla, in a manner of speaking, to revive the presence of Raza in Mandla, and this is part of that. But we do a lot many things there. Right now there are 3 workshops going on in Mandla, one in art, one in dance, one in music, and this is for young children and all that. We had an enormous experiments there. We have, for instance, how do you involve the citizens? So Sanjay, our secretary, thought that can we get umbrellas and can we get people to paint? So we invited citizens of Mandla to come, and we had 150 umbrellas. All the white umbrellas available in Mandla. They were bought up by us. But when these citizens, mostly women, started we had shocked. So we had to summon another 100 from Jabalpur and 250. And this exercise goes on. And I can tell you, those umbrellas look remarkably beautiful. So it is in that area a sense of aesthetics which has survived the historical damages and colonization and all this, what has happened to us. And it is an incredibly rich area. So there you are. We have this. And Mithilesh, who was part of this project right from the beginning, if you like to say a few words.
If you go through these paintings, you will find that most of the artists, they are working with pen and ink, and they do drawings, which is a new thing, has been introduced by them. And all the sophistication is coming from this delicacy of drawing. So if you look at the tree, they have transformed the tree into a kind of cloud, wetless tree, and they have, changed the entire seeing of ours. So you can see the colors they are using that way, and drawing is prominently done. So you can enjoy the work.
And of course, the Raza Foundation is very thankful to the India International Center and Phoolchand Director Ete, as a good friend, to have made this possible here. So we thank the IIC and we thank you all. And once you have looked into it, there's a door at the back. Open it and come and have some tea and the famous samosas of IIC. You might also have the infamous tepid tea, the coffee of IIC. Which is, I don't know why they have never been able to make good coffee. रखवाले भी थे, गायक थे, ये उसी इलाके के हैं जहाँ मंडला से बड़ा साहब गायकी को सारे लोग
ये कौन Is the tribals like a so the Raza?
So there's no art background, nobody has this school, maybe founding shop, and then they have
But they have, and that's why I think there's a lot of work isn't captured.
good.
जबकि abstract है, जबकि colors भी अलग हैं, but I can get that feeling that और भी